Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for choosing our show. Ladies and gentlemen, since Raila Amolo Odinga died and the subsequent events that led to his burial, I have realized that people have really played a lot of dirty politics in it. And I've also realized, just like I've always told you, that the true and genuine people who are mourning Raila Amolo Odinga are the immediate members of his family. Winnie, Rosemary, and Raila Jr. are the only people who are mourning their father. The rest are calling themselves, I don't know, political orphans. These are people who are mourning Raila because they were using Raila's name to gain political expedience. And I want to say that there is only one widow that has been occasioned by the death of Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is Mama Ida, a very experienced lady who must now rise up above petty and parochial politics and show wisdom. Because Ida is now a mother and a grandmother. And as they call her in Nyanza, they refer to her as Mainpin, the mother of the nation, must now show the nation the trajectory that they must take after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, the speed with which the ODM brigade is running this narrative of the Rigathi narrative after the reckless statements that were made by the Nyeri governor Mutahi Kahiga is something that is alarming. It is now taking even the limelight from Mutahi Kahiga himself. The ODM has got a dirty agenda that is being perpetuated by other people who are not mourning Raila Amolo Odinga but want to take advantage, and they're looking at 2027. It is true that when Mutahi Kahiga made those reckless statements that he appeared to be celebrating the death of Raila, we have condemned that. And we have said that you do not celebrate the death of a fellow human being in public. If you are to do so, please do it secretly. Let me put a disclaimer. I have a problem with my tongue, so I have a problem speaking well. So if you see me fumbling, bear with me. So ladies and gentlemen, we have condemned the reckless statements. We have said Mutahi Kahiga is an elder. Owing to his age, he needs to ooze wisdom and show wisdom. He needs to preach peace and tranquility. We have said that as a governor, he is a person who is like the father and a leader in that county. And we also questioned that because he's closer to Rigathi Gachagua, it might be perceived that he's speaking on behalf of Rigathi Gachagua. But somehow, I have realized that the ODM brigade are now taking advantage of the mere fact that Mutahi Kahiga is closer to Rigathi Gachagua. They want to politicize and over-politicize what happened yesterday. I want you to listen to Gladys Wanga. They called for a press conference to condemn the reckless statements by Mutahi Kahiga. Somehow, they twisted that press conference and it became a presser about Rigathi Gachagua. And I want you to listen to this and tell me whether these people are fair. And I know, please, don't tell me that, Rigathi wanted to kill Raila. He had said that, he's not a virus. I just want us to listen to Wanga and the group and tell me whether this is fair. Like we have said, it was very reckless of Mutahi Kahiga to speak that way. But tell me on this one.
And what I know is that Kahiga does not speak for himself. Kahiga is the spokesperson of Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua mocked Raila's illness and asked whether he was a virus and whether Kalonzo was a bacteria. To date, Rigathi Gachagua is yet to mourn Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, who braved political tensions to go and mourn his brother, the late Gachagua. And therefore, we note now that anyone who associates with Gachagua and his ilk like Kahiga cannot be our friend. The line is drawn. Yes. Any person who associates with Gachagua, Kahiga, they cannot be our friends. Yes. Whether they are in our party or outside our party. Yes. Kahiga has drawn the line. Yes. To mock, he has crossed the Rubicon. We have crossed that line now. To mock Raila Odinga in his death, to mock him in his life, we could respond. But to mock him in his death, no. Any person who associates with Gachagua, with Kahiga, with that lot, can never, ever be our friend. Because the principle is, the enemy, the friend of your enemy is your enemy.
As to how this thing turned, now was twisted from Kahiga to now Rigathi Gachagua, I don't know. Let me say this. We all know that Rigathi calls himself a truthful man. And Rigathi does not shy away from speaking his mind. He will tell you what he feels. Even recently, when he said Kalonzo's is not a virus and is not a bacteria, he didn't send Mutahi Kahiga. He didn't send Medhu or Karumu Wadhangwa. He didn't send any of his allies. And so trying to twist this and telling us that it is Rigathi Gachagua speaking, to me that is utter nonsense. I could be wrong, but we cannot continue to play politics with the death of an enigma, a political giant. We cannot. And to me, it is very wrong to twist this and now bring it and say that this is Rigathi talking. Rigathi is a man who always speaks his mind. And I'm not saying that Rigathi is good. Rigathi is human. He's got his strengths and weaknesses. He's not impeccable. But the idea of trying to divide people and trying to politicize this on behalf of other people, some people who wants to start campaigning early enough to gain the support of the Luo nation by using the death of Raila, I don't think we are going to allow this. Let us be sober and rise up against all this nonsense. It didn't end there. Some other leaders are now saying that they are attempting or trying to ban Rigathi Gachagua from going to mourn Raila Odinga, from going to mourn with the family of Raila Odinga. And they've got the guts and the audacity to tell Gachagua not to set foot in Bondo. As who? Because the last time I checked, we only have one widow who feels the pain of the loss of a husband. We only have 3 very genuine orphans. And the brothers and sisters who are mourning Raila Odinga. You cannot ban them from, you can't, ban Rigathi Gachagua from setting foot in Bondo. Unless Oburu or Rosemary or Ida Odinga tells Gachagua not to go to Bondo, all these others are just political gimmicks. Kindly listen to this.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency and members of the press. As the chair of ODM as the vice chair of ODM in this region, I want to associate my sentiments with the statements made by my chair, Governor Ruto-Wanga, and the colleagues, members of parliament. I want to say that as ODM members in this region, we want to urge our members to stay calm as we approach this issue in a sober mind. We heard yesterday that Gachagua and his team were supposed to pay homage to the home of Raila Odinga. We urge Gachagua, never, don't step in Bondo. Don't step in Bondo, as your statements are not very, very friendly to us as ODM. Otherwise, I urge our members to stay calm as we approach this issue in a sober mind. Otherwise, thank you very much.
The reason why I have mentioned even in the title that Ida has rejected this, Ida, as a wise mama, might have seen all these political shenanigans coming. And that is why Ida gave this advice, that she has learned over the years that you do not inherit the enemies of your husband over any politician. Because the politician knows how she or he made those enemies, she or he will deal with them. In the case of Rigathi and Raila, Raila and Rigathi know where they made this enmity, where it started. And so just allow Raila to deal with it. He's no more now, and therefore there's no need of inheriting this. Ida used a lot of wisdom, and she spoke to the heart of the nation, to the Luo nation, to the Luo leaders, to the ODM leaders, to the ODM supporters, that we should not carry and inherit the enemies of Raila Odinga. We don't know how this enmity started. She was telling us to embrace peace. Kindly listen to this.
That if you're a spouse or politician, inherit his friends, but don't inherit his enemies. Why do I say this? Because you'll be standing there, you'll be sitting there at home, thinking so and so is an enemy of my friend, my husband, because he belongs to a different political party or he comes from a different area. I tell you, you will be wrong. Don't inherit in his enemies, because tomorrow you'll find that those people that you thought were his enemies are his best friends, and you'll be left out. Be careful when you are handling his friends. Inherit his friends, but his enemies, let him deal with them the way he made them.
To me, as long as Oburu has not spoken, as long as Ida has not spoken, as long as the children of Raila Odinga have not come out and said that Gachagua, don't step foot in Bondo to come and warn us, I will take all these people. They do not have any right. These are people who are playing politics. The only people who feel the genuine pain are the immediate family members. So what exactly is happening? Why is there all these shenanigans? Why are they bringing in the name of Rigathi Gachagua? What do they want to achieve? Ladies and gentlemen, when Rigathi Gachagua said that he wanted, in fact, it started when Ida said that we do not inherit the enemies of our friends, of our political fathers and all that. Ruto and the ODM brigade knew that their goose was cooked. And they are imagining a situation where Rigathi Gachagua is going to visit Ida as human. And they talk and there are cameras and Rigathi says, Pole mama, tulikuwa na some differences with your husband. We had some just political, ideological differences. They knew that was going to be the beginning of Ruto's troubles. Because with that, Gachagua would maybe carry Kalonzo and they go there and talk. And that will open up, because when people see Ida welcoming and receiving Rigathi, others whose hearts are very hard will say, oh, if Mama Ida has accepted Rigathi, they can come and campaign here. Because to William Ruto, the death of Raila doesn't matter to him. What matters to him are the people who Raila has left behind, the supporters. Ruto is more interested in the supporters than Raila's death. He's using people like Wanga to perpetuate his agenda, to gain political mileage, to ensure that he blocks Rigathi Gachagua. And so these people knew very well that Ida had welcomed, had sent an olive branch to Rigathi Gachagua. And I did this video and I said, Ida sends an olive branch to Dorcas Gachagua. And some people are telling me, Sasa Gachagua natokelezea wapi nini. I knew what I was doing and I knew what I was saying, because I knew Mama Ida spoke as one of the elderess in the society. So they want to block Rigathi Gachagua from attending the burial. And they want that to go on history, that Rigathi never attended the burial of Raila Odinga, even though he's willing. Mama Ida wants to bury the hatchet. Then these small politicians want to perpetuate that. Number two, these people understand very well that very soon campaigns are going to open up, and they know that the opposition might have an upper hand when they appeal to the Luo nation Kalonzo will tell them, vote for me, I support Raila Odinga. And Kalonzo, together with Gachagua, are in the same camp. They want to block that. So to some of these leaders, the death of Raila is all about politics and a campaign tool ahead of 2027. And I feel that is very bad. When people are mourning their father, some are mourning their brother, husband, others only look at the political situation where they want to campaign for Ruto. Number three, which is very, very dangerous. If there is one thing that Uhuru Kenyatta tried to finish but he didn't, is the perceived enmity between the Luos and the Kikuyus. Uhuru tried, and whether it was deliberate, I don't know. He didn't, because Luos expected that Raila was going to be handed over power by Uhuru Kenyatta. They expected that Raila was going to win, as he always does, and the deep state was going to help him to protect his votes not to be stolen. That didn't happen, and therefore, there are people who still have mixed feelings. But there's a crop of politicians in this country who still want to perpetuate this perceived enmity, and I really feel very bad. We only have one country, and when you want to segregate a certain community and you want to turn them against another, it doesn't help you and I. It helps certain politicians who want to gain power in 2027 by ensuring that there's an enmity. Just like Ruto did in 2022, when there is this perceived enmity between Kikuyus and Luos, and he had taken Gachagua to be his. Now he wants to take people like Wanga to perpetuate this kind of enmity for his own, selfish gain. Why don't we just play clean politics? Let Ruto tell us what he has done to the country. If you want to go and campaign in Luoland, tell them what you've done to them. After 5 years, you will go back and tell them, this is what I've done to you. I've built roads, I've connected electricity, I've done this. Why create enmity? And I think we are better than that. At the right time, we will be able to see what the opposition is offering, not only to the Luo nation, but to the whole nation. Because it doesn't make sense when a particular region is getting developments while others are being segregated because you are in a handshake. There is one kind of politics that I hate. Is this politics that has been perpetuated for so long. That when Wanga and the group are in handshake and they're in a broad-based government, they feel others should be, segregated and denied resources. When Gachagua is in a handshake and the people like the Wanga group are not with them, then they are talking about shareholders. This kind of politics must stop, so that immediately you are sworn in as a president. Embrace all the people in terms of development, in terms of your appointment. Let us have true unity, not unity where you bring in these people, you impeach the other, you remove them from parliamentary seats and all this kind of. That's not the unity that we want. But these people want to perpetuate this perceived enmity. It doesn't help me. I have got friends hapa mashinani. Most of my friends here are Cukes and Kambas. I've got friends across the board. Let's say this. If today we would say that kama wewe ni Mjaluo, I want to give an example here. Ya kwamba sasa kama mimi ni Mjaluo, wale ambao wanafuata channel yangu ni Wajaluo peke yao. Wakikuyu wakitaka ku-watch channel wanatafuta channel ya Mkikuyu. Wakamba ni hivyo. I mean, how do we help each other? I will not tire of mentioning this, and I know why I'm saying it. If people look at themselves in terms of their tribes and say, sisi hapa saa zingine tunakuja tunafanya some appeal for fundraising to the vulnerable. Wengine nataka kwenda shule, and some of them are not even our tribes. Na kuna wale wanatoa pesa bila kuangalia huyu ni kabila gani. If we decide doing things only to our tribes, do you know how much we would suffer? I'm appealing for tranquility, peace, and love among our people. If politicians want to play those dirty politics, huko juu, hapa mashinani, hapa chini, let us embrace each other. Let us understand that there are only two tribes, the rich and the poor. Let us rise above these politicians, because they think that they can still hoodwink us as they usually do. Hii kelele yote wanapiga au wakipatana kwa mahoteli watasalimiana. I hate it because the main agenda here ni kwamba Otieno, Onyango, Odhiambo, Kinyi waanze kuhate Kinuthia and Kamau and all and Wanjiru and all that. And this is utter nonsense. Guys, let us know that we have a country. These regional demarcations are nonsense. We have a country called Kenya. We all pay taxes. We are brothers and sisters. We suffer from the same problems: poverty, corruption in the country, wastage, diseases, nini. Huyu mtu ambaye anataka kutudivide hapa ni nani huyu? And I'm not saying that, Gachagua is perfect. I'm not saying that what Mutahi Kahiga did was right. We have condemned it. When Gachagua talked about shareholders, we condemned it. But you cannot drag in the name of Gachagua. If you want, who spoke? It is Mutahi Kahiga, and he has apologized. Even though we know he has told us who he is. Why do we now drag in Gachagua? If Gachagua does something and we can see, we will condemn it. Just like the same way we are now condemning people like Wanga and the group who are now telling us, oh, Sikuje Bondo. We are waiting for Mama Ida to give us direction. Odinga, can you speak and tell us whether you also support the sentiments of trying to ban Rigathi Gachagua from coming to Bondo to mourn? I don't think these people understand the loss of Raila, what Oburu feels for losing a brother, what Raila feels, what Ida feels for losing a husband, and what the children feel after losing a father. To them, it is just another moment to play dirty politics, to support UDA, I don't support. To me, this is...